Well, okay, so why don't you catch us up? You're coming out of a relationship that meant a lot to you,
Right?
right?
As all relationships do.
And what do you want right now? Like, what do you want? You got everything on your mind. Like it doesn't sound like a comfortable thing.
Actually does. For the first time in a long, long time. Because I am lucky enough to live in a place that embraces ambiguity.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, California is the essential, and San Francisco in a lot of ways is the quintessential place to go to if you're just finding yourself. You're in your mid-20s, you don't know what you want,
Yeah.
but you're searching, and it's the place to go, and where people are like bartenders, coffee makers, financial hedge fund managers, bankers.
That could be New York.
It could be, but it's different because in San Francisco you have the chill out and relax, join with your fellow human beings. New York is really about like finding your niche. I feel like in San Francisco it's all about like trying everything. I feel like New York is very isolationist. I've never felt more alone in a city than I did in New York City.
Well, so why is San Francisco any different? I don't
Because
understand.
it's smaller. And because it's like...
That, it's one of the most dense cities in the U.S.
It is.
It's not that much smaller. Is it just the
Oh.
weather?
But come on, in San Francisco proper, there's less than 1 million people living. Very few people know that. In Manhattan proper, there's more than 2 million people living. And it's the attitude. It's the San Francisco air. It's the summer of 1967.
Something.
Summer of love.
Way before we were born.
1967. Summer of love.
But, how do you feel about ambiguity?
I hate it.
Why?
Because I'm a control freak.
That's true.
But that's what's nice about a place like San Francisco. It allows your internal control freak to relax a little more.
Because everyone's totally slack?
No, but because there's a predominant, because it's acceptable to be more slack than anywhere else I've ever been. So there are people who work 14-hour workdays easily in the computer sector, but there are also people who work 6 hours a day. You know what? That's okay.
So on that basis, you just go to Los Angeles.
Oh, yes, because Los Angeles' success and image is based on completely different ideals. It's based on beauty, bodies, who you know and what you know. No, more importantly, who you know. It's not about what you know. It's completely vapid.
Well, San Francisco's beauty and bodies too. Come on.
Yeah, but it's all about
just,
like...
there's more BS pretending not to be.
You know what? You can be fat in San Francisco, nobody will give a shit. Nobody will. Now, but if you're fat and you do yoga, that's a good one.
That's rare.
All right. Finished here?
No.
No? Oh, we're on break? We're at halftime?
Still working, yeah, halftime.
Right.
Exactly.
Still working, thank you.
I always miss read halftime and you're finished.
Yeah, we're taking it slow tonight. We're on the local train.
Dig it? All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Oh, San Francisco is very image conscious in some ways. But I think the thing I love about San Francisco is that I feel like you really can fit in no matter who you are. So you're a prep, and you're very fraternity-like. Okay, you go live in the marina and you have your area and blah, blah. Okay, so you're a punk person and you love hard rock. Okay, you go live in the Fillmore area. You're a hippie. Haight-Ashbury's still there.
Yeah, but New York City's the same way. Whatever you're into, you'll find your crowd.
Yeah, but it's cold and aggressive.
So it's all about the weather, basically.
I think it's all about the weather.
But wait, San Francisco's cold too.
But not
In the
cold
summer.
winter like.
Foggy, yeah.
It's foggy, but only 2 months out of the summer. Okay, well, my first sexual experience with a woman was when I was 17 years old. And I had never, ever previous to that, had thought that I was attracted to women. In fact, I was 15 years old laying in my bed and had thought to myself, gee, am I attracted to women? And really thought about it. And I was like, no. Yeah. Sounds talk of gay people and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, could I ever be attracted to women? I was like, no. And then I started driver's ed. Be careful, parents. If you don't want your children being out gay, don't let them go to driver's ed. The reality was that I started driver's ed, and I met this very quiet, young, very sweet girl. Same age as me, a little bit older. About like 4 months older or something like that. And I made her laugh. We sat next to each other. I was very sarcastic, and we were taking these terrible, terrible videos. You know, watching these terrible, terrible videos of, you know, crashing in the 1970s and all this stuff. And then I just made her laugh, and we hung out. I mean, this is like a 6-week course. It's over a month. Every day we sat next to each other, and I made fun of the videos, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden I was like, I really like this girl. We should hang out more. And I think, hey, let's go to a movie. She's like, yeah, right on, let's go to a movie. The first movie we ever saw, which will forever be our movie, The English Patient.
It's a good book, by the way.
It's a good, very good one. It's all about like that part of the woman's body, this part, the collarbone. To this day, I'm obsessed with that part. So you know, I met her dad. At that time. He dropped her off. We were like 16, 17, and we just hung out a lot. And then one day, school starting again, comes August, September, and I'm hanging out with her whole summer. And then when they were driving in her family's minivan, and I said to her, you know, I think I love you. And I said,
did you?
Yes, I did, definitely. Young love, as wayward as it is, it was love. I said, I think I love you, but I love you much more differently than a friend, I think. And then she was quiet, and she said, you know, weird, me too. And that was it. It was a mutual understanding that we loved each other in a much more needy, passionate, first love, blah, blah, blah kind of way. And that's how I first fell in love with a woman. And then it was complicated. I mean, neither she nor I were prepared for it. I had always thought myself, I'm attracted to men. She had too. And so all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, are we gay? Well, I don't know, because we had so attracted to boys. We had crushes on boys all throughout high school. How do you explain that? Well, I don't know. So at some point when we were 17, 18, she was hanging out with me. I was hanging out with her. We went to my brother's house, who at this point was married, and had his own apartment with his wife. And we hung out. And she put her legs over mine, and I just held her legs, like stroked her feet or something. Nobody said anything. But the next day I saw my brother and his wife. He was like, what's going on, man? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what's going on between you and Jenny? And I was like, nothing. What do you mean? What's blah, 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 blah?
Oh, so this is Jenny.
This is Jenny. Jenny's my first love.
She's in San Francisco.
This is my first love. So I talk to my brother, and I finally break down. I'm like, he's like, so have you guys done it? And I'm like, what do you mean? Blah, you know, like all these things. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay. And he's like, I don't understand what's going on, Leo. Am I bisexual? Am I gay? What's going on? And the first thing my brother said to me was like, don't worry about it. He said, stop. 10 years from now, you could have a husband and kids. He's like, he literally pulled out his human sexuality book at his house, and he's like, this is the Kinsey scale. You might be here now, you might be here later. And I was like, okay. And he's like, now, do you know how to have protected sex with a boy? And I was like, oh, kind of. And he's like, pulled out a banana, pulled out a condom, and he was like, run, run, run. The whole demonstration for me. And he's like, okay, good. And he's like, you know, if you ever need to get away from my mom and her parents and you want to crash at her place and hang out, you can do that. So whenever they went out of town, my brother gave me the keys to his house so that then I could effectively have sex.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was
effectively or really?
no. As in, we always had sex, but without fearing getting